Very legal campaign funds. Oh, absolutely legal campaign funds. Totally. I love the concept of the Gremlin for Mayor campaign being funded entirely off of illicit gambling winnings. It's kind of perfect, actually. It's like, I wouldn't have it any other way. Really. Okay, so my king demands a tomb. I got distracted by a massive siege. Let's unforbid this. Get this constructed. Titan's still there? We killed it. Sheesh, long time ago. Like right after it showed up. Did you miss that bit? For fuck's sake! Force that is vile and both dark and vile has arrived. I think I might just lock them outside for a little bit. Might just lock them outside for a little bit. I hope, please tell me. Whew, okay. Well, on the bright side, we got this whole thing done. Don't know what's all up with all this steam, though. Don't actually know what's causing it. Let's just get this one closed first. And close this. We're gonna seal them off for a little bit. We're just gonna wait them out for a bit. Ever get crashes in DF? Very, 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 very rarely. Once in a blue moon, maybe. But also I have like probably tens of thousands of hours in this game. As an example, Long Death has crashed 4 times. 4 times. Long Death is on episode 222 on YouTube. And each stream of that, because each stream is an episode, each stream is about 6 to 7 hours. With a couple of, not necessarily a frame rate drop. It might actually just be is there really just 25 of them? Okay, if there's 25 of them, I'm just going to steamroll them. This is a V small raid. Baby raid. All right, well, they come from the occult seduction. It's the same army. One time a crash saved the dwarf's life. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's literally 25 of them. Well, I guess the entire army showed up in the last one. Maybe this is meant to be reinforcements. I guess. Maybe they just got left behind. They got lost. They were supposed to be part of the other army. It's the same faction as the previous siege. They're like, we got him, guys. Yeah, no, I think we'll wipe them on the floor. They had to take a piss. Yeah, these are the guys that slept in at camp and dozed off in their tents before the actual siege started. They misread the map. Yeah, they got lost. Time to strike back. No, I'm going to wait until my military is repopulated. Because the problem with striking back is if you attack the enemy and then they siege you while your army is gone, when your army comes back, they come in single file and cannot become military dwarves again until the captain enters the map. So if the captain lingers behind and is the last one back on, your military will literally run in uncommandable single file and die one by one. So no, I'm not going to strike back. I'm going to wait until my entire army is recalibrated before I do that. And I lost enough during the last major siege that I should retrain some dwarves. Also, currently, I lost my best commanders, which used to always lead the attacks on the enemy ones, so I don't know how good their ambushing skills are and their tactics skills are. Charge! Okay, it's army number 1. Where's the other army? Let's just... go get the last of them. Oh, look, they're already running. Also that too, Diamond. And the way these sieges have tended to go is small siege, large siege, small siege, large siege, small siege, massive siege, small siege, large siege. So, we'll see. Get 'em, boys! Splort. Not bad. Alright. I think the siege is dead. Yep, they're all dead. Killed them all. But yeah, no, these squads were all full, with the exception of the bottom one, which we only had 5 previously. So yeah, I don't really want to deal with that again. But yeah, in regards to crashes, most of the crashes that people experience in Dwarf Fortress are caused by 3 things. Loading errors, and temperature problems. So if something that can frequently cause loading errors is the popular plugin for DF hack called Text Will Be Text, which allows you to see multiple Z levels at one time. That frequently causes crashes upon saving and loading, or enabling and disabling that frequently causes crashes. Most crashes are caused by external plugins, and not by the game itself. The game itself is actually like weirdly stable. Yeah, so if you have Text Will Be Text running or DF hack running scripts while the game saves, very common crash. So like there's plenty of very common crashes that people run into that people assume are just normal Dwarf Fortress crashes that are not normal Dwarf Fortress crashes, that are caused by DF hack and other external tools. Like Dwarf Therapist has a few as well. So I get maybe a crash every 6 months, and I stream this game like 10 hours a day, 3 days a week. So it's very rare that I see crashes. They do happen. I mean, like, if I take an ocean and drain it into a volcano, that might crash the game. But it's very rare. Because you can't play without Text Will Be Text? Yeah. That's honestly, that's exactly why I recommend people learn Dwarf Fortress first without the use of DF hack and Dwarf Therapist. It's a little bit more tedious on the get-go, but once you get going, it's you won't miss those features, which makes learning the game a lot easier. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to Steam DF because I want the same thing. I really would like to be able to use Text Will Be Text. I just don't want to deal with the crashes, which is why I don't bother. There's 2 main reasons why I don't use Therapist and Hack, and the reasons are crashes. Well, I was gonna say crashes and instability, but that's kind of the same thing. But instability and having to tab between multiple windows. It's just not worth it. Oh yeah, no, I definitely get world gen crashes sometimes. Like, generating this world, this was a custom world gen large world, and it took me like 2 hours of fiddling with it before I was able to get this world to generate. But I don't really count world gen crashes as Dwarf Fortress crashes. I count Dwarf Fortress crashes as crashes that happen during playtime. I don't recommend going back to Masterwork for any reason, because it hasn't been updated since 2017. So you lose all of the stability increases and stuff. I haven't timed it, but maybe a minute. Hey, the dwarves have arrived to trade. Look at that. Is that us? Or is that the other dwarven faction? No, that is us. Hey, dwarves from the one other fortress we have arrived to trade. I wonder if any of my dwarves will show up alongside of them. That'd be neat. Yeah, I haven't timed it, so giving you an exact number is tricky. Let's just give them old clothing initially. Oh, also large clothing. Oh. Okay, so if there's a... Okay. This is mostly just the clothing from the last siege that was on the trolls that we can't wear. So it's just gonna get tossed out anyway. Might as well sell it. Yeah, no, the next major release, not just a Steam release, like Classics release as well, is gonna speed up dramatically. Medium 1,000-year-old world on a small laptop from 2014 generates in 26 minutes, which is crazy. I really want to know how fast I can generate one on this computer. That's something I'm looking forward to. Doing like speed tests. Just be like, all right, how quick can I generate a long history large world on my computer? Because I can generate a long history large world in about 2 hours. Right now. So I'm really curious about how long it'll take once those book changes have been made. Speaking of like, I had somebody asking me about random bugs not too long ago, Yoshi. And I was asking them, trying to figure out what the problem was. Turns out they were using a prepackaged version of Masterwork from like 2015. They're like, I keep getting this crash and it's caused when this happens. I'm like, well, have you done this? And then they asked me about a stress thing. I'm like, have you tried using a guild? And they were like, a what now? Turns out they were using a prepackaged version of the game from 2015 running Masterwork. I can't wait for Premium to be out just so that when people are like, am I using the right version? I'll just be like, did you get it out of Steam? And they'll be like, yeah. And then I'll be like, yeah, then you are. Looking forward to that. It's going to make troubleshooting issues that people have so much easier. Did I ever finish making... Did they ever build your coffin? No, god damn it. Finish it!
Finish him.
No, Masterwork doesn't turn out well because it hasn't been updated since 2017. Although, so, like, I'm just assuming everybody knows what happened with Meph, right? Meph stopped working on Masterwork quietly around 2017. Sorry, did I say 16? Late 2017. Because that was when talks to make Dwarf Fortress Premium started. It was in 2017. They signed the paperwork in 2018 and announced it in 2019. So he stopped working on Masterwork in 2017 because talks to work on the game professionally started then. He was removed from the team in 2021. At the end of 2021, in November of 2021. And apparently has started working on Masterwork again for the Steam release. So you might get a new Masterwork at some point. Supposedly he's also gonna upload his own version of the tile set as well to the Steam Workshop. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but supposedly. So for those of you who like Masterwork and are Meph fans, you might get that big mod pack on the Steam Workshop again. Because, like, one of the last things he said in the thread when he got removed from working on the team was that he's going to come back and remake his tile set legitimately with proper accreditation for everybody and the locations that he acquired all the assets. And also was going to... Jesus, so much stuff. And also, at the same time, would... make a new version of Masterwork. So hopefully that stuff all gets released. I just hope it doesn't like cause problems with the way new people play the game. One of my biggest worries about the launch of Premium Dwarf Fortress is that it comes out and old guard of the community tell and advise everybody to install a bunch of mods. When new people start playing the game on Steam, please do everybody a favor. Do not tell them to install DF Hack. Do not tell them to install DF Therapist. Just let them learn the game as is. Because the game works so much better as is. Without any extra things. With extra things, it just becomes bogged down and crashy. And so a lot of bug reports, and like even Tarn said this, it's like a lot of bug reports that they get aren't actually Dwarf Fortress bug reports, they're like Dwarf Therapist bug reports. So it's whenever people are like, what causes lag in this situation? It's always Tarn going, okay, so is it the game? Or is it some weird DF hack script you have running? Yeah, I mean, I say that about Dwarf Fortress, but the community calls me crazy. All the time, right? Like, that's literally my take on Dwarf Fortress, is learn the game in vanilla, and then install DF Hack and Therapist if you think it will make the game better. Once you know what you need. But, like, I was explaining to somebody, or I was watching a stream the other day. I think this was Monday. They didn't know where this menu was. Or not this menu, this menu. They didn't know where this menu was. They had a super stressed out dwarf. And I was like, they were just like, yeah, no, I use, is Steam okay? It's Thursday. Don't they do, yeah, Steam's offline. They're probably doing server maintenance. You don't feel like you'll have much need for DF Hack when Steam version comes out? I mean, most people who use DF Hack use it just for the job manager, right? And like, they aren't doing the RimWorld grid style of jobs, but what they are doing is a list of jobs, and then you click it, and then you see all the dwarves that are assigned to that job, which is a different way of doing it, but I don't know. I don't think it'll be like a bad way of doing it. I think that'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what most people use it for. Instead of just doing one dwarf at a time, it'll be all of the dwarves who have that job at a time, which will be much quicker. And like, yeah, the job management in the current game is tedious, but it works. It's not like... The big thing that bothers me is I see so many people saying things like, oh, Dwarf Fortress is unplayable without insert mod here. That bothers me a little bit because it's more playable without it, because it's significantly less crashy. And then they complain about how much Dwarf Fortress crashes and how bad the frame rates are. And I go, fuck! And throw my headset across the room. Honestly, custom professions is basically how you want to approach it anyway over a giant grid. Yeah, no, totally. Like, you want... The way Dwarf Fortress works and the way you want to play is you want to look at a dwarf, read about them, learn a little bit about them, and then role play along with them, right? As streamer throws headset across room. If it annoys me, I can't even imagine what Zach and Tarn must feel like with a lot of that stuff. But the one thing that I really like to quote, this is something that Tarn told me at PAX West in 2019. I asked him, what's the most common bug report you get? And some of you have probably heard this because I've told this story a bunch. But the most common bug report that they get for Dwarf Fortress is an error code. And it's the error code that pops up when you download Dwarf Fortress, and it's a zipped file, right? You open up the zipped file, and you double-click on the .exe in the zipped file, and try to run it in the zipped file without extracting the game. That is the most common error report they get. So... In case, like, you gained faith in people's ability to use computers, it's okay, you can get rid of that now. You just wish that you could add more races into DF so that you can mess with many more things. Races in Dwarf Fortress are really easy to mess with. I mean, I watched Cupo add a race to his game in about 5 minutes by simply opening up a .txt file, copy-pasting some lines of text, changing some wording, and changing a few other things. Literally just like opened up a TXT file, clicked and dragged it into things like, bam, now we have brownies. Which were literally just elves, but they mined, so they had steel. But like, aside from that, exact same behaviors. Wow. That's a graph. I think that explains your problem, Freeway. I think I found your problem there. Yes. I think I found your problem. Small outage. Well, they weren't elves. They were brownies. Also, there was one time I had an elven civ that was completely assimilated by goblins. Dragon Holy Fire. Not only were they assimilated by goblins, but they were run by necromancers. So necromancers and goblins ran that faction. They got completely assimilated by that. You want to know what they attacked me with? Undead giant ravens. They had archers with steel arrows on undead giant ravens. We died horribly. We didn't live very long. We tried. We put in a valiant effort, but no, we didn't live very long. That sounds amazing. And you know, Zach and Tarn keep talking about how elves are going to be more scary. Because right now, like, elves' combat behavior is literally just they stealth onto the map, which is kind of scary, but not that scary. They stealth onto the map and then they attack you, and they fight with you until they run out of arrows. Once they run out of arrows, the fighting ends. That's the behaviors of goblins, or not goblins, elves right now, is they attack you until they run out of ammunition, and then they leave. That's it. They keep talking about how they've made elves more of a threat. I'm actually kind of excited. Nazgul goblins, pretty much. Give her dwarves that are brave. Doesn't handle stress well. Yeah, okay. I'll leave you. You're good. Elves get stuck in trees? Yeah, and sometimes they get stuck in trees. I mean, everything gets stuck in trees. Elephants get stuck in trees. They should more constantly ride things like elephants, and they should more constantly, and they should acquire better weapons. You know? They should get better weapons. That, or just make, like, them have some sort... Oh, sorry. I'm going to speculate here for a second. Okay? None of this is confirmed. That is it. Okay? In the last interview, Tarn said that magical metals are going to make more of an appearance in Premium and the next version. So, godlike metals, like blazing metal, flaming metal, screaming metal, shining metal, all that shit that you can only get from the angels in the Fun Spires. So, the only people in the game currently that have it for trade is elves. They'll occasionally have some random things made out of godly metals. My theory is they're going to have godly metal weapons. That's my theory. Could be wrong. But imagine just like a bunch of fucking elves show up and they're all holding screaming metal swords and they're just like, ah, at you. Like, yes, I'm in. Let's go. Make them a threat. I don't like fighting them right now because they're just boring. Like, they have waffle bats and styrofoam shields and they fall over. Are elves good aligned? That's like asking, is a hippie good aligned? Well, they sit at home and smoke a lot of weed and say, don't chop down the trees. I know, because I am one. But yes? 500% sharpness magic wood? Sure. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's my theory. Is because they keep on talking about how elves are going to be more exciting to fight, and they've mentioned that magical metals are going to make more of an appearance. Because there was a question about magic or something that I think Tech had asked in the last interview, and Tarn literally, and Zach and Tarn both said, they're like, yeah, no, magical metals are going to make more of an appearance. They've also said that elves are going to be scary. No, elves only settle in forests. It doesn't matter the alignment, unless it's haunted. They won't settle in haunted forests. They'll settle in any other forest, though. The only, like, good aligned creature in the game, like, because, like, you gotta remember, elves in Dwarf Fortress are essentially, like, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but the Maori, like, the New Zealand natives, they're literally ritualistic cannibals that are obsessed with keeping the trees and the forests safe. So I've always thought of them more like that, like just crazy forest warriors. I'm not even reading this description, I'm just talking at chat. I've always thought of them as that kind of thing. Which doesn't seem too far off. Frequently depressed, mood. Doesn't seek out excitement. Fourth toe is broken. Oh no. Constant state of internal rage. Okay, you joined the military. Good. Perfect. Need more of those. Gripped by crippling shyness. Unfriendly and disagreeable. Bothered by this, as he values friendship. You want biblical style angels added to the game that are randomly generated like the demons? Hold on a second. Dwarf Fortress Wiki. Okay. Angels. Angel. All right. This article contains massive spoilers. If you do not wish to have your game experience spoiled, do not scroll down. Angels are procedurally generated creatures created by deities to guard the vaults erected by demons, who were twisted into humanoid form at the time before time. Facing them is believed to be an endgame adventure mode thing. They are not available to be spawned objects in the testing arena. You can, and this is a fan art of one of them, you can access them in Fortress mode, though, so way ahead of you. I just thought I'd tell you that the thing that you just asked for is already in the game. The last ones I fought were giant spiders made of glass. So, not quite mechanoid, but like, you know. I know, I was watching another stream who was playing as an adventurer, and the angels in that world were rock bees. Like giant bugs made of rock. So just channel your inner Bayonetta and here, I'll show you some. Let's see if I can find some. Artifacts. There's some. There's one. This is an Orpian Slab. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. The slab reads, I am Tetos Loneliness, once of the underworld by Angazak Maze Curse, the last cut, I bind myself to this place. So within the artifacts menu, you can find slabs. Slabs are the things that bind demons to the world, which is what causes the goblin civilizations to go mad and go crazy and take over the entire world and all the yada yada, and why the goblins are immortal. Demons then erect vaults with the slabs in them. The defenders of the vaults are the angels. This is a vault with a slab in it because it doesn't show up on the overworld. So I can raid this by trying to recover the artifact, and my dwarves will fight with them. And we can see the combat logs. That is the only way to interact with it in Fortress mode. Unless you've played Adventure mode in that world and discovered the vault. Then it will show up as a dot, similar to forts. If you discover the vault in Adventure mode with an adventurer that's part of the same faction, then you will see it on the overworld, and then you can raid them properly without having to go through this kind of fiddly nuts. But they still won't invade you. because they're passive. They're just defenders of a specific location. They're not like necromancers where they attempt to take over. They just stay there. Literally, yeah, Seer Sky, yeah. I found them by accident, fiddling around in that menu, but I knew that they existed already before then. I didn't realize you could access them through that menu, but one of my favorite things about Dwarf Fortress is when somebody goes, man, I wish this feature was in the video game, and I go, it already is, dude. That's literally my favorite thing ever, is just being able to be like, yeah, it's already there. See? We're way ahead of you. All right, you. Bored after being able to practice martial art. Ooh. Never becomes angry. How do you handle stress? Likes a little tumult. That'll be fine. I mean, we could raid some angels if the goblins give us a break here. On my YouTube channel, there's VODs of a fortress called Angel Razor. That was the whole point of that fortress, was to raid vaults and steal as many slabs as possible. I had like 12 of them at one point, which means that one that I was just showing you might actually be in my other fort, Angel Razor. Doesn't seek out excitement, sure, but you want to practice martial arts, so go join the military. Frequently depressed, yep. I think I already did this one. You, down here. No, you'll do fine. Helpless in stressful situations. Yeah, you won't be any good. How about you? Never fails to seek out the most stressful and even dangerous situations, and will generally seek retribution from past wrongs. Yep. Go to the military. How about you? But yeah, no, that's actually the case for a lot of things in DF. You kind of need to know that they exist already in order to find them, which is actually one of the reasons why I think Dwarf Fortress is much less intimidating as people make it out to be. A lot of people make it out to be this very intimidating, like impossible to get into video game. Dreams of falling in love. Aww. Does not easily hate or develop negative feelings and think before acting. It's fun working on projects, material goods. You know what? You dream of falling in love there, Dwarf. How about I make you into our tavern keeper? Go give people drinks in the tavern. Good luck to you. Animal, do you feel like joining the military? Something humorous in all situations. Frequently depressed. Impervious to the effects of stress. Yes, you'll do just fine. Were they a civilization or a race? When the player that I was watching modded brownies into his game, it was a civilization and a race. I mean, I play the Star Wars Overhaul mod for May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th every year, because that's a fun mod and it's kind of dumb. And it has Stormtroopers as a faction, it has the Empire as a faction, it has Battle Droids as a faction, it has Jawas as a faction, which are playable, it has humans or like the Rebels as a faction, it has the Nabooians as a faction. They all have different guns and different shit. There's like 80 different factions in that mod. It's actually kind of ridiculous. Half of the different droids have different factions, and there's like 250 different droids in that game. There's bajillions of droids in that game. It's ridiculous in that mod. And that's all just custom. Like, it's exactly the same game mechanically. It's just got flavor text moved around, and the way certain objects work with other objects changed. So, like, modding new races into the game is extremely easy. I'm not the person to ask about it. Tekid would be a good person to ask about it when he streams, because he mods spiders and other small critters into his game all the time. That guy. But I'm not a modder. I don't write mods at all. But I mean, we actually, okay, so I have some weird words that I say on stream. Like I like to call people dingbats, right? And my moderator, Blog, for an older version of the game, not this current version, but for an older version, made me a one-off mod that added a cavern creature called a dingbat, which was just a flying creature which ran away in fear whenever a dwarf saw it. That was all it did. It was just this harmless cave creature that just flew around. And the description of it was constantly terrified, makes very annoying sounds, and is constantly terrified of everything it sees. And it was just like this little constantly afraid critter that just screamed at things and went, ah, and ran away. And the dwarves would like chase them and try and kill them because the dwarves would automatically aggro them. So like, it's not too difficult to mod custom creatures. If anything, premium is going to make it harder. And the reason premium is going to make it harder is because you're going to have to then make a sprite for it. Sort of like Bilbo Baggins. I mean, better than Dildo Wagons. So yeah. Runs away in fear and everything. Yeah, we're gonna have to make sprites, which means every single modder is gonna have to hire an artist, which is gonna be great. Also, hey, Minnow guy, what up? But yeah, no, I still maintain that my favorite thing about Dwarf Fortress is when someone asks for a feature to be added to the game, or it's just like, man, I wish this would be added, and I'm like, actually, it's already in the game. You just need to look deeper. Does not have feelings of emotional attachment and has never felt a moment's connection with another being. God, that sounds like my ex. Jesus. She does not have feelings of emotional attachment and has never felt even a moment's connection with another being. She generally is unhindered by the thoughts of others concerning her actions. Yep. And takes no pleasure in her talents and appearance. Yep. Dislikes receiving advice and prefers to keep her own counsel. Yep. And does not reveal personal information. Does not, and she tends to make a small mess with her own possessions, so definitely. And doesn't seek out excitement. This is just my ex. She is somewhat quarrelsome and is bothered by this since she values friendship. Yeah. And she is often cheerful and doesn't hold on to grievances. She can easily fall in love and develop positive feelings. Yep. And starts to whisper when she's trying to remember something. Needs alcohol to get through the working day. Inaccurate. That's just my ex. Jesus fucking Christ. That's terrifying. You're joining the military, by the way. Go away. Go die, please. Yeah, anyway. It's very rare that I put dwarves into the military out of spite, but that's terrifying. But yeah, no, I am in fact looking forward to everybody having to make sprites though. It's gonna be really cool seeing all the different takes. Although I do think it's gonna be a little bit of a problem. Just as an example, when let's just say you really like using Vetelinger's tile set, right? Then you install a mod that adds a custom, I don't know, let's just say it adds Beavis and Butthead to your game, right? And then you need a sprite for Beavis and Butthead. If you want it to look like Beavis and Butthead, but also look like Vetelinger's tile set, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want a faction of SpongeBobs, that's easy. Just take SpongeBob and take the SpongeBob sprite and go, and then you have SpongeBob, right? There is a mod that adds SpongeBob. It turns all the giant sponges into SpongeBob images. And you can make them their own faction too. And their only dialogue in the game is anyway. But you could theoretically do that, but then if you want it to be coherent with the tile set that you like using, it has to mimic that theme, and that's going to be a bit tricky. It's like if you want to add dinosaurs to your game, and let's just say you like using Vetelinger's tile set, you're going to need sprites for those dinosaurs that look like Vetelinger's tile set. Or you're going to need sprites for your dinosaurs that look like the Space Fox tile set or something. Of course that exists. There's also a My Little Pony overhaul mod. Although, my favorite era of Dwarf Fortress was about 2015. Granted, I barely played the game in 2015. But the reason it was my favorite era was it was when the Super Mario Brothers mod, the My Little Pony mod, and the Star Wars mod, and the Pokemon mod were all actively getting updated. And there was a Let's Play, I can't remember what forum it was on, but I remember seeing write-ups from a Let's Play. I think it might have been reported on Kotaku, actually. Of somebody who was doing a playthrough with all of them at the same time. So it was My Little Pony, but it's Star Wars, but it's the Mushroom Kingdom, but it's Dwarf Fortress. And there's Pokemon everywhere. And because it's the Pokemon mod for Dwarf Fortress was like, let's do Dwarvamon. Yeah, this thing. Let's just say, where's that? Yeah, this. This is what the Pokemon do. Because it's Dwarf Fortress, right? So they all just kind of explode. Why can't I just make this bigger? There you go. Here, open image in new tab. Perfect. That's what Pokemon in Dwarf Fortress do. Because, like, Dwarf Fortress takes, I breathe fire way too literally. Or I shoot ice, also way too literally. Or I shoot beams of electricity, way too literally. So a Pikachu, being a cute critter in, like, you know, this thing, or I shoot noxious gas, or whatever, like a coughing. Like a Pikachu's real cute, but in Dwarf Fortress, it's cool until it fires a death laser at you and you explode. It's just like the Super Mario Brothers mod. It's great when Yoshi shows up until he eats your arm. It's like, it's all fun and games until Yoshi eats that Shy Guy. And Shy Guy just falls apart and is just like, melting in front of you. And you're like, oh God, he's spurting blood because that Yoshi just ripped his forearm off. I spew lava. Yeah, it's great until you get caught in it. It's a nervous wreck. I know what that feels. Unfazed by the thoughts of others. Can handle stress. All right, join the military. All right. Well, on the bright side, the military is mostly reset. That being said, I really, really, really hope, because it hasn't been updated since like 2015, I think, 2014 even. I really, really, really hope when Premium launches, somebody takes up the mantle and makes that Mushroom Kingdom mod work. Because there's something wonderful about a Babam just walking in off the side of the map in Dwarf Fortress and just throwing fiery explosions at everything. And stuff's just blowing up. It's so wonderful. Considering that the Mushroom Kingdom mod had functioning earthquakes, natural disasters, and summonable tornadoes, which would, in fact, completely destroy your frame rate. But it would also, like, you just, like, I'm going to summon a Babam in the middle of this enemy army, and then it's just like, and everything just flies away, exploding in bits and pieces. It's wonderful. There is somebody working on a gunpowder and cannons mod, though, for Premium. I've seen their posts on Reddit a couple times. Yeah, although in order to get those like environmental spells in that mod for Ana, you had to siphon the life force out of your toads by literally draining their blood. And if you accidentally siphoned too much life force out of one of them, they would die. Also, they don't drink alcohol; they drink juice. You make juice out of plants, which is kind of cute. All right, so this is getting given to the king because I've been very distracted about rambling about other shit. Go, B. Going to assign this to him, and it goes to Orange. There we go. Okay, so the king's finally happy. Outpost liaison. You need an office, a dining room, and weapon racks and armor stand. Okay. Literally, just give it another 6 months. Or give it another couple months. I don't know exactly how much longer you need to give it, but give it another couple months. Wait until Premium's out. Because I'll tell you this, you will get a much, much better experience. Like, even if you just want to play vanilla, or plain old ASCII. Like, I don't know if you've seen these screenshots, but like, just give me 2 seconds here. This is what vanilla is going to look like. This is what classics is going to look like once Premium launches. Okay, we're talking about Dwarf Fortress. Crazed Wolf. I mean, like, Premium's gonna look like... Premium's gonna look like this, you know? Like a normal video game for normal people. That's what Classic's gonna look like. But literally just give it another however long. It's soon, this fall. I mean, they're doing a live, okay. So it's August, September 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Pacific, my bad. Friday, September 2nd, 2022, Dwarf Fortress Steam Edition demo. They're doing a live demo for an hour. So it's playable. The current, like, estimated unconfirmed price is $30 for premium. It's literally like, it's not a remaster, it's not a remake, it's nothing fancy like that. It's a patch with an official tile set, a full soundtrack, functioning audio, and a fully reworked UI. But Classic, which is the free version of Dwarf Fortress that I'm playing right now, will still be updated and will get all of the quality of life features minus the fancy pixels. So it'll be... So Classic, which is what I play and what anybody who's played Dwarf Fortress before plays, will continue to get updates, except instead of having like the fancy like pixel art stuff that you see, it's just going to be ASCII. Hello, Maz. How is you? Which is why I'm just like, yeah, if you're thinking about, like, maybe I should reinstall Dwarf Fortress right now. I mean, yeah, you can, but just wait. That's all I have to say is just wait. Just wait another couple months. And little Osan, hello, how are you? Well, they did sneakily change the, okay, so there's been an estimate, okay, I'm gonna do more deep diving Steam Investigator, Reddit detective bullshit here. For fuck's sake. This is Steam database. They updated it on Steam 13 hours ago. Interesting. For ages, like, they would update it maybe once every other week, but they've been updating it almost daily recently. So the back-end version is getting updated like fucking crazy. But the estimated release date in the Steam API is January 19th, 2023. It was September 30th up until about 2 weeks ago, so they edited it. But every single time it got to be about 2 months away, they'd move it 6 months up. And they've just been doing that. So this is a placeholder release date. So I wouldn't trust that. But that's what their estimated release date is. But even that, like, even if we had to wait until then, it's like, that's like 4 months away. Yeah, it has no actual value. That's just where does it get stuck in the Steam release list. Like, Brigador Killers, which is a game that I'm waiting for, is supposed to be out sometime in 2023. That's basically what they've stated. They're like, yeah, this will be out. So it'll be finished in 2023. But according to the Steam, database on the API, it's out in June 1st, 2026. So, you know, like, it doesn't really mean much, but wow, everybody lost. Thanks. I like how Diamond invested 9 and lost. That's funny. Yeah, I think it's mostly just to stop people to guess. I will absolutely be swapping to play with the fancy pixels. But once the fancy pixels are out, there is an option in the fancy pixels to just swap to vanilla, like classic. Just change the whole game over to classic. I'm going to have a rather expensive channel points redemption and a $10 tip incentive to just make me play with the ASCII for 10 minutes at a time. So to people like or like Stone, who have like multiple millions of channel points probably in this channel, you can throw channel points to make me play in ASCII, which I will appreciate, frankly, but chat will get mad at you and that'll be fun. So I will play both, is what I'm trying to say. Tutorials are largely finished from what Tarn was saying. He said that they're going to be expanding it, but he's like they're still working on tooltips, but most of the tutorialization that they're planning on doing is like ready. Like they're in bug fixing mode right now. Like there was a blog post like 2 weeks ago where Zach was just like, yo, I played an entire fortress from end to end, including digging into the hidden fun stuff, and it all worked. I'm not thinking 200,000 channel points. I'm thinking more like 50,000 or something. Like achievable, but takes a while. 200K is a bit much. I can count on like one hand the number of channels I have 200,000 channel points in. Is Zach playtesting full-time? I have no idea what Zach's doing full-time, but I assume so, yeah. That blog post got you hyped up. Yeah, there's a reason why my video reading the blog post got like 25,000 views. Hurts my brain a little bit, but... The thing that impresses me, though, is that people still... Like, there's still people who play Dwarf Fortress that don't know that Premium's coming out. You know what I mean? Like, that blows my mind. It's like, there's still people who've missed that it's happening. One of those that made you find your way here? Yeah, no. I mean, about 2 weeks ago, I had a bunch of videos getting a bunch of views all at once. So, the last update was, let's find out. When was the last update? I always forget the exact date. The last update was January 28th, 2021. It's been a while since we got an update, but like, it balanced a bunch of things, changed stress, and fixed a bunch of bugs. The last major update was at the beginning of 2020. But since then, they've just been working full-time on Premium, so... But yeah, it's still getting updates, and it will still get updates. But there will be... I mean, there's going to be a bunch of mechanical changes and performance increases and fixes, and, like, the masonry shops are being renamed to stonecutters shops, and masons are being called stonecutters, and a lot of stoneworking jobs are moving to the craft store shop, and a lot of craft dwarf stone-related jobs are moving to the stonecutters shop, and some skills are being scrambled around. Supposedly, chores are being added to the game, which is the very polite way of saying child labor. So children will be able to work instead of just, you know, hanging around and doing as they please, which is all that they do right now, is children do as they please. This is going to be the Outpost Liaison's bedroom. So right now children just do as they please, but supposedly we will have chores for Premium. So there will be some mechanical changes when Premium comes out, and Classic gets an update. But it's not the same jobs that they would do normally. It's kind of like Maz said. It's like they'll be able to clean, they'll be able to haul, and some basic crafts, supposedly. But like you can't make them go work in the forges, kind of deal. Even if it's just hauling that's acceptable or cleaning, yeah. But like it'll be nice having like 3-year-olds hauling granite boulders. 3-year-olds pushing wheelbarrows. Let's go. Work harder, you little twits. Looking forward to it. Imagine how long it would take them. I had a 1-year-old haul a granite boulder from one end of Long Death to the other end of Long Death. And to those of you who haven't seen Long Death, it's a very big fort. It took literally 40 minutes for this child to carry this boulder from one end of it to the other. It was a very funny afternoon. Iron weapon rack 2. Iron armor stand 2. Container. Copper chest. Copper chest. Brass cabinet. Brass cabinet. Door. Smooth the rest of it. This is going to be my Outpost Liaison's lodgings that I've been neglecting because I've been too busy with everything else. TF edition, pretty much, yeah. A gnome side. You make a mini wheelbarrows for the children. Toy wheelbarrow. It's useful now. There aren't any toy wheelbarrows, but... Yeah, there was that one person once who was in the chat who bought a used copy of the book and Dwarf Fortress on a disc. Which is still crazy to me. They're like, yeah, I bought Dwarf Fortress, the physical edition. I was like, oh, what now? Still amusing to me. Millionaire, thanks for the raid. How's the packing of Back Hero? The backing of Pack Hero? Backpack Hero. Chat, can I get a round of beers for Bell? And also, go follow Bellinaire. Who is playing this? Backpack Hero. Bellinaire's new favorite game. It's inventory management, the video game. The dungeon crawler. Oh, hey, you have a petition. What's that for? Oh, Kavish Singe letter. Wishes to stay here for the purpose of study. Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I've had decent metalsmiths before they become adults many times. You just make public guild halls and then let them hang out. You don't even need toy stockpiles. Literally just have guild halls that are public. And they just go play in them. Because they play where dwarves are socializing. Which actually makes me kind of sad. I was kind of hoping that there'd be an oversight where I could teach cats skills, but unfortunately, no. Might as well also give them toys too. Sure, yeah, no, totally. I mean, the reason I have so many stoneworkers isn't because I have a billion mason shops. It's because I have a very popular stoneworkers guild. The same reason why I have so many engravers and so many metalsmiths as well. But the metalsmiths is partially due to all of the metal smelting. But yeah, the reason I have so many stoneworkers in this fortress is because they all stand in there. Combat demonstrations, it does not apply, no. Combat demonstrations are their own thing. But you can make a Rangers Guild and have children learn tactics and ambushing, which is a combat skill. It's just not used in combat. It's only used when raiding, razing, or attacking enemy sites. So you can have like a amateur tactician who's 3. Or hunting. Yeah, archery. No, crossbow. Shooting. Shooting, I think, is the skill. Have to settle for swimming pools then. God, those are so inhumane though. Although I once had a fort that I accidentally partially flooded. And the floor that I partially flooded was the military floor where they were training. I realized I was flooding the floor too late. Or not too late, early enough. So I caught it and shut the flow off and I was like, well, I could drain this. And then I realized all my dwarves are just training in like waist deep water and getting swimming skills. And I was like, yeah, I could just keep doing that. It's fine. It was even better whenever they got thirsty, they just drank water. Then they walked up the stairs and out. Mark's dwarf. Yeah, that's the skill that I was thinking of. Although they can be bow dwarves theoretically. Right, so this gets given to the outpost liaison. Who is Wilmer. Who just needs 2 weapon racks and 2 armor stands. Hold my beer? No, dwarf chugs while diving after him. Come on. Why would a dwarf ask somebody else to hold their beer? That's a ridiculous statement to make. More like hold my baby. Frankly. Yeah, I could see that. I need to go for a swim. Hold my child. But yeah, I could see that, making your first meeting hall into that. I generally like just make my first meeting hall into a tavern so that they can socialize, because that's and drink. But I guess they also could socialize in a guild. So yeah, I could see that. Yeah, there's logic to that. Never done that myself. Maybe I need to try that. They've got extra distractions for... Okay, who the hell says you shouldn't put female dwarves in the military? What? That's sexist. I don't think anybody says that. No, there's never been a point where you shouldn't put female dwarves into the military. Even before reworked stressed, you just have hardened babies. Like, I played throughout the worst eras of stress in Dwarfort, and like, there was never a point where you shouldn't put female dwarves in the military. I think that's just people imposing sexist stereotypes on Dwarf Fortress, but I could sort of see it for, like, if they have a baby, remove them from the military for a year and then put them back in the military, but outside of that, yeah. That too, man. If they drop the baby, they would go looking for the baby? I mean, they don't, though. But to me, that just reads like that one weird part of Dwarf Fortress community being weird. Because there is that one weird part of the Dwarf Fortress community that's weird. Anyway, regardless, you should put female dwarves in the military because they're great. They got less dangly bits to cut off, so they're actually less vulnerable. Male dwarves could theoretically get hit by a gelding blow, which makes them sterile. And I've seen that happen to dwarves before. It's always kind of traumatic. He is gelded. It can't happen to female dwarves. And babies are, in fact, the best shields in the game, so... They don't drop their babies, they freaking yeet it at a titan to one shot. Pretty much. Moms are very talented miscellaneous object users. In this case, the miscellaneous object is their child. I don't think it actually spawns a physical item that can sail off in an arc. Don't actually think it can do that. At least, I've never seen it. That would be interesting if it did, though. queen wants maces. I mean, I certainly can't rest until my groin flesh is in my coffin, so. No, because it doesn't spawn an item when severed. So, no. Unlike necks, which can. I once had a bunch of dwarves running away in fear from a reanimated human neck. Where was that dwarf going with that? What the hell? We had to mangle it so that it would stop attacking us. What part of the neck can grab? You tell me. The flabby bit, I would guess. Well, I mean, it's just like skin can be reanimated, right? Because I guess theoretically skin can wrap around something? I don't know. Don't worry about it too much. What the heck's a neck gonna do? Neck in your general direction? It's all naked. Wait. You could chin me pretty hard. Please don't chin me, Carno Fight. Please don't chin me. Giraffe neck would be... Yeah, giraffe neck would be like fighting a boa constrictor. That'd be like fighting a massive snake, except it would be all flabby and have like a neck bone in it. Yeah, that would be terrifying. That would in fact be... It would be like fighting a cadaverous cave crawler. Like, it's basically just like a giant like floppy snake. It's like... just at you. It's like that... I always point people towards like the documentary Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and that wonderful scene towards the end of the film where the guy's in the captain's quarters and the arm crawls under the door, and he picks up the arm and it goes bah! At him. That's basically how everything in Dwarf Fortress goes in my imagination. So regardless of what body part, foot, leg, neck, head, whatever's reanimated, that's what it's doing. So I would imagine that a neck would be like in your general direction, kind of like a face hugger. Maybe it would suffocate you, like latch onto your face and like wrap around and then chokes you to death. This is a very weird sentence of speculation. I need someone to put me on a different route, and chat's just like crying to death laughing. That's probably what's actually happening here, and I'm just like, I sound like an idiot, and chat's just dead. All right, well, we now have a Giant's Hands. Giant's Hands is just a Dark Souls enemy. Also featured in Legend of Zelda. Touches on and crushes her skull. Crush more than that! Hey, Batome, what's up? I still always wonder about the Forgotten Beast. It's like a ginormous blob composed of water. It's like, so a bubble? What's a blob composed of water? It's like water in space is what I imagine. There's prick. Like, how did you live for like 2,000 years and you check it in Legends? How did you kill 700 dwarves? You're literally a bubble. Itib Gearstruck wishes to join the Ancient Beard as a citizen of Threatdweller. Welcome to the fortress. The Thing? I rewatched that movie like a couple months ago. It ages really well. The original one. The Adrown, clearly. I mean, the best combat log I've ever read, which I mentioned to Zach and Tarn the last time I spoke with them, was a flying ball of snow. It had wings, and it squirmed and fidget. It had no special ability. It was just a blob of snow that flapped around. It's like a cloud that could fly. and it flew up to a sleeping dwarf on the edge of like a precipice with like 50 Z level drop with just like rock at the bottom, bare rock. And it was this very deep cavern. And the fortress is called the Blockade of Fools. It was a randomly generated name that was too good to not keep. And the beauty of it, yeah, there's some plants. The beauty of it was the combat log was literally just whatever, Forgotten Beast's name, pushes the dwarf. The shot was blocked by a silk hood. Forgotten Beast's name pushes the dwarf's name, deflected by a silk hood. But repeated like 150 pages of it. So you know when like you'll look at a combat log, right? And it'll be like page 17 of 17. And it's all like this. Except it was just that on repeat for the entire thing, and the dwarf slept through it. And a fucking troglodyte just ran past and went thwap. And it was literally just the troglodyte slaps the Forgotten Beast in the body, and the severed part sails off in an arc. That was the entire combat log. Also, I need to make new mason shops because they got destroyed by a annoying little fucker. A troll that got him. He did it in his sleep. He didn't dodge. It was just, his armor was so good, he deflected it. Nothing dodged. He just simply deflected it. Can finally build this library over here now. I think I was talking about maybe making this the queen's quarters, but nah. Could give the queen a private library. I don't know what I'm going to do with this just yet. A vault of some sort, maybe? Where creatures don't wake up from combat? Yep, which is the same reason why you can cut a goblin's ear off while they're sleeping. They won't notice. Although one of my favorite questions I ever got to ask Zach and Tarn was, why don't tree produce log after cave-in? Which is partially funny because it was in like semi-broken English, but really funny because it was in semi-broken English and also made perfect fucking sense. Why no tree produce log after cave-in? It's true. If you cave in a tree, it turns into nothing. Also, Farana, to answer your question, yes. That you asked like 30 minutes ago in Discord, in the Speedy Tracks and Zoom Zooms room. Yes. Poof, tree disintegrate. Yeah, pretty much. Kill dwarf in sleep. No! You're gonna give me nightmares. Damn it. Absolute no on that. Automate all of these out, the edges, and we're just gonna... I like how a lot of them just like accidentally queue up on the wrong side. Fuck all. What? Since when do we not talk about politics? We're constantly talking about politics. Constantly. It's part of the beauty of this stream, is we can go from talking about how weird mechanized angels exist in the Shadow Realm? Wait, hold on a second. Wait, okay, hold on a second. Are you saying that you'd rather go to the Shadow Realm because there's no climate crises and no politics? I guarantee you that there's a constant power struggle going on between whoever the fuck's running the Shadow Realm and the opposition, and whether or not the Shadow Realm is actually getting a good enough living wage. Have you seen housing prices in the Shadow Realm as of late? I mean, ever since they became a meme, they just kind of went off the charts and got fucking ridiculous. Like, the tourism industry there is crazy, but the second travel gets cut off, you realize just how few people actually live in downtown because it's all just rented out by Airbnb. They're all short-term rentals that have nobody in them ever. I mean, come on. Horrible. Truly. Also, yeah, it's probably, like, in perma states of just gutting each other warfare. And climate crises? Sure, you don't have climate crises. But did I mention that the Shadow Realm's constantly on fires? That's why it's called the Shadow Realm. It's not actually the Shadow Realm. It's more like the perpetual burning realm. Meaning, instead of actually, like, you know, being in nice, cool shadows all the time, everything's just on fucking fire. I think I've, like, run this bit into the ground. Can someone give me a different one? Also, hey, Madman, what's up? Coming from Bellinair. Huge fashion crisis across China. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Do I wear black, or mahogany today? Shadows from Infernal Song. Totally. Yeah, see? Shadow Realm equals circuit. Yeah, but then you get to hang out with the elephant brutes, and they seem kind of chill. Oh wow, really? With purple? Oh my god. What about burgundy? Like a good dark burgundy that almost looks brown in a distance? They're like, it's not brown, it's burgundy. Or obsidian or ebony, absolutely, right? Whether or not to wear trilbies or top hats. You know? This is completely unrelated, but has anybody seen that FPS game, The Fashion Police? Fashion Police Squad, specifically? This thing looks kind of great. Just go running around shooting people with bad fashion and giving them better fashion. Got a grappling hook. Looks pretty cool, actually. Also, Burger Fling. Clap. Well done. Kind of does, yeah. In similar ways to Postal, which lets you shoot cats at people. Which also has absolutely no business being a decent game, and it's a decent video game, and it's weird. Alright, there we go. Now that we're all sealed off, I can just let them finish. Like that. Fill you in. Okay. Mandated, the queen has mandated the construction of maces. Okay, iron mace. I'm gonna run out of silver. Man, I've been on like so many random rambles and like spewing conversation fests for the last hour. Suddenly it's 4:30. When did that happen? I think we'll do another 30 minutes to an hour of Dwarfs and then play some Farthest Frontier. What did Dwarf doing? They smoothing because we're working on this, which is an external building which is connected to the main fortress by a Wei Wang bridge. And I'm going to put a library in it. But first I want to build a tower. So we're going to build a multi-layer tower, maybe up to like, I don't know, layer 15 or something. Once we're done building tower, it's going to... it's going to be built into a library. And various other things. I don't know what else I'm going to put in it. We'll figure it out. Maybe move the king and queen's quarters into there. I mean, yeah, Monning, it's good. I've had something to talk about for the last 40 minutes. Kind of like been struggling to find topics. I've just been so drowsy the last week. I've just been like in an energy crisis personally this week. Hello, Onyx. So are you going to be moving your name from Onyx Wilmer Butson to just Onyx at some point? Or did you add that to your name intentionally? Also, by the way, I got news for you. Your dwarf moved to the fortress. Which is still named Wilmer. You finally moved here, along with the king and queen. So if you remember that fortress that got drowned, where like we spawned in and the lake was on the wrong level and then everybody drowned pretty much, you were one of the dwarves from that fort, along with Elamino and Orange, which are now the king, queen, and outpost liaison of this faction, which is kind of awesome. Well, let me know when you change your name, but to just Onyx. But for right now, I will update it so you still get channel points, or rather tickets. Not that they matter, but they matter to me. Oh wow, that's wild. So I guess my bot got some sort of update. I don't need to update usernames anymore. That's crazy. I already updated it. Weird. That's cool. I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah, the stupid lake. No, not the stupid lake. It was the one before the stupid lake, I think. Or maybe it was the stupid lake. Anyway, it was like when I started this fortress, your dwarf and Elamino both became royalty, basically. And they've all moved here, which is kind of awesome. So you're the faction's outpost liaison. So you're our head of trading. Since Onyx 98's already taken. Gotcha. Just don't accidentally do what Animal did, which is change your name from Animal to something else and then not be able to change it back because you thought it would be a great idea to name another account your old name to protect it for later and then get stuck on your new name for a year. Because when they initially added name changes, it was like once every 6 months you could change your name. It was a very funny day when Twitch first implemented anybody can change their username. It was a while ago. And everybody just changed their name to some sort of like spicy meme or random in-joke or like a bunch of Ys or something. And everyone's like, guys, look at my name. It's funny. Oh God, I can't change it back. And everybody like collectively realized at the same time, oh, don't change your name. It takes 6 months to change it back. Yeah, now you're stuck with it for 6 months. And that's how Stir My Insides Oni-chan became a username on Twitch, and they still have that username. Stick 6 months of dead memes in chat. Pretty much, yep. It was a very, very, very funny day. Because before that, you had to like send in a support ticket and have a valid reason to change your name, and then wait for Twitch to respond, and then they had to agree to it, and then they'd give you a new login and password and tie it to your old account and delete your old username from rotation, and then you could swap. That's what it was for a very long time if you wanted a new username. No, it's funny because like I see people sometimes complaining that like Twitch's features are broken and like not that good when freshly implemented. It's like, oh yeah, no, they're not great, but like should have seen what they were like a couple years ago. Like, geez, Twitch's runs like a smooth, well-oiled machine now in comparison to what it was a few years ago. Hair up or hair down? Do you want hair up or hair down? It's currently up. You can make me keep it up, or I can put it down. But yes, dwarves. Lots of dwarves. Okay, lots of dwarves. Down. Okay. I get to, air quotes, look like a rug again. I'm much more of a fan of Hair Bud. I got pissed so bad? What? Remember 13 months ago you just had a random no stream? Just had a random no stream. What? I don't know what that means. What does no stream mean? And probably I've been pissed on stream many times. What's the queen want now? 2 more maces. Okay. Mace. Cool. Oh, yeah, no, when OBS refused to capture Songs of Six because, like, yeah, no, I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was more than a year ago now, but yeah. Unless it was actually 13 months ago. I feel like it was longer ago than that, but. When OBS would just like randomly boot me offline for no reason. Yes, I do remember that. When I did a specific thing in the game. The Taiwan salmon chaos in 2021? What? I'm not familiar, but okay. I mean, it did indeed break the VODs, yes. Why are you bringing this up? Yeah, no, basically what happened was in Songs of Six, when I would move the throne, it would crash my stream. It would literally just crash OBS when I would move the throne. And it was something that you had to do for part of the game. So whenever I would move the throne, it would crash my stream. And whenever I'd start a save file, it would crash my stream. I don't generally like to think about things that make me super angry. I had a reason, it wasn't a good reason. Yeah, I was like interfering with it in some way, and I submitted a bug report. I was like, by the way, whenever I move the throne, OBS shuts off. And the dev's like, oh, that explains why I don't get a lot of streams. But yeah, he fixed it. Still makes me nervous whenever I go to play Dwarf Fortress, though. Or not Dwarf Fortress, Songs of Six. Great game, by the way. I do recommend Songs of Six. You should play Songs of Six. Worth the $30. The courts wouldn't let folks change their names back? Why did they change their names in the first place? Oh, hundreds of people changed their legal names to have salmon references so that they could get free sushi at a restaurant. Oh. Okay, I get it. This is like people who get tattoos so that they can get free ice cream at that gelato place in Vancouver. Or the people who get tattoos so that they can get free grilled cheese sandwiches at that one grilled cheese restaurant, and then the grilled cheese restaurant shut down. Right. Okay. For some reason, I was expecting it to be more serious than that. That is goofy. I can see why it would remind you of that. That is like 1,000 times worse, though, than just like being stuck with a shitty username for 6 months. It's like, what's your last name? Fish Eggs McGee? What? That's awful. What about the large? That's fine. You know we're doing that again, though, right, Diamond? Yeah. The annual hot potato charity marathon will be happening in like 3 months. Salami Jones. Yeah, Sashimi Jones, not salami. Yeah, it certainly seems suboptimal. Gotta admit. Cutting this further down because it artificially makes the tower seem taller. Like, how to make yourself seem taller. Make everybody else shorter. How to make the tower seem taller. Make the ground around it lower. Easy. Oh, geez. Is this, it is an aquifer. Interesting. Which means it's gonna have a moat, which is even better. Just hopefully it doesn't accidentally insta-freeze dwarves to death. It might do that, too. Now again would be a bad time to get hit by a really big raid. But no, I'm fine. I don't generally like to like intentionally think about awful moments in the stream's history. Because there is plenty of those, you know, moments where just really cruddy things happen, and it's like, man, this is a bummer. I've had plenty of those in history. Speaking of Diamond, did you see that Hobo responded to your most popular Dwarf Fortress bug report? I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I have... Let me give you the exact hour count. I have 1,582 hours in Cookie Clicker. Does that make you feel better? I have a question. Do you enjoy Farm Sim 2022? Although the one that usually surprises people for me is the fact that I have 75 hours in Spin Tire's Mud Runner and 125 hours in Hunter Call of the Wild. That's usually the one that surprises people. People don't generally expect me to be like, you know, playing hunting games. Okay, how about this? I have 1,783 hours in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 Triple Thrill Pack. Well, then there's nothing wrong with it. You know, honestly, like, games having silly themes or being, like, very mundane-sounding simulators is a ridiculously dumb reason to judge people for games. Ahoy! Have you considered a way, that Way of the Hunter or whatever the fuck it's called? Apparently it doesn't have an FOV slider. Apparently it has no FOV slider. Ghost has risen. So I am not going to consider it until they add an FOV slider because we're not in 2007 anymore and they can make games with FOV sliders. But once they add an FOV slider, I'll consider it. I will say, however, I have considered this. Although this is maybe a better trailer. There you go. This is something I've considered. Who are we insulting and what's their game of choice? Onyx was asking if it's terrible or great that they have, or awesome that they have 870 something hours in Farming Simulator 2022. I mean, I got almost 20 in Cheese Runner. Needs more neon? Not possible. Also, I wonder if that it's definitely just golf, but also Carball game is good. Golf, Carball. That's definitely not going to get me what I need. I can't remember the name of it now. Is it called Jetball Golf or something? No, I can't remember the name of it, but there is a game that came out a couple of days ago, literally like last week, that's literally just Rocket League, but golf. Now I'm like trying to remind myself the name of it, and I can't. If anybody knows the name of that game, yell at me. Wondering if that game was any good. I wanted to go look at reviews of it. Only 3,200 hours on EU4. I mean, I got, what is it, 3,500 something on RimWorld. The main reason I want them to give me Dwarf Fortress early is so I can just let it run 24/7 for a couple of months to actually have a relatively accurate hour count. Amateur numbers, casual. And that's why you haven't beaten my highest score yet, sir. But how's your day been today, Hobo? What you been up to? Hoping that deals with the ghost problem. Also, investments are open if you want to invest your tickets. Diamond. Ugh. Did barbell squats in the gym. Thighs are beginning to burn. Ready to go poop. Thanks, Decoyed. I think is how you say that. Or is it Decoyo? Hello, and thank you. Doing my best. That's a very real problem, Hobo. Very real problem. You know, it's funny. The hikes that I've been going on have devolved down into two main styles. Style number one, where you hike up a mountain and it's actually like a legitimate workout. workout or hike number 2. Your top 5 games are literally all clickers, Hobo. You have a problem, and it's wonderful. Anyway, the hikes that I do have like devolved into 2 main styles. Style number 1, yay, they put that ghost to rest. Perfect. Style number 1, we hike up a mountain and it's a legit workout, and we're exhausted the next day and we're in pain and I'm sore for the next 5 days and walking is pain. And then I stretch and it's good. And then there's hike number 2, which is what I'm doing on Saturday, where we're just gonna take 6 packs of beer and do a very easy short hike that ends with a lovely waterfall at the end. And we're just gonna hang out and bring our hammocks and just like set up our hammocks and chill in hammocks and drink beer for an afternoon. Those are the 2 kinds of hikes that I go on. Some would say one of those is superior. I would disagree. I think they're both awesome, but Realm Grinder is also a clicker. Yep. At least you have a shtick. Skyrim's definitely an idle game. Skyrim's an idle game. You just idle on the main menu and listen to the good theme music. That's part of the video game. Although there's probably a mod that turns it into a clicker. It's got to exist, right? 10 is an idle game. Good lord. Hobo, you should start a website where you just review idle games. And like just start a YouTube channel dedicated to idle games. Upload like a video once a year or so when a new idle game comes out and be like, so this is the end game? It's worth playing. No, your 10 games, 2 are not idle games. Oh yeah, true. You also play idle games on your phone, don't you? Honestly, some idle game company should hire you as a consultant. You should get a consulting gig, consulting independent developers on how to make the best idle games. Blade Idle is really good. What? Actually, I have a question. What is the worst idle game you've ever played? Hobo. Blind years after Hobo is a super large streamer. I mean, Hobo is a professional streamer. This is a fact. Hashtag professional streamer, I should say. These are all your games on Steam that have more than 100 hours. Oh, wow. I see. You're showing the price per hour. You've got a lot of time in Elite Dangerous. I've got like 450 hours in Elite Dangerous. That game was fun. Yeah, no, I mean, these are all like legit good games. I see you like space. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, Skyrim, Wafram. Yeah, Elite is neat. In fact, Cractorio up there too. Is this the library build that we're watching? That's what I'm working on, yeah. It's mostly just digging though. Going pretty slow. Space in general is in fact awesome. Yeah, Hobo has in fact been paid for streaming, which is better than what? It's like 60% of affiliates. Did you say Braven left Frontier? Yeah. That's all that you know about it. I mean, dude's... The thing that you need to remember about David Braven leaving Frontier, he's also the creator and founder of Raspberry Pi. Dude's doing just fine. Should probably retire at some point. Everybody should. I too love Raspberry Pis, yeah. And cherry pie and other kinds of pie. So like, yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He's been at Frontier for a very long time. Let the guy do some less work, and you know, I think that something that happened in the last few years, and honestly, I don't know exactly why he left Frontier, but think about it this way. The last 2 years, I think, put everybody's mortality on blast in front of their eyes. I think a lot of people in the games industry have like stepped down recently. Like a bunch of CEOs have changed. A bunch of like bigwigs in the games industry have moved on. A lot of things are selling and people are getting out because the last 2 years kind of really did make a lot of people's worlds go boom through in front of their eyes, going, oh, time's limited. You know? So if you have like a bajillions of dollars and a lot of stock and I think, might as well step down. Go do something else. Go sit on a beach for a bit. Sip a fucking cocktail. So am I. Uequoizific. I don't even know how to say that. Hi. Yes, me too. I'm also looking forward to Dwarf Fortress coming to Steam. Good attempt. I mean, I don't even. One of us. One of us. US, not USE. One of yous? That's a very backwards way to write that. One of us. One of us. We're trying. There you go. Yeah, I would say it's a pretty safe assumption to say that most of the people watching this stream right now are looking forward to Dwarf Fortress coming to Steam. This guy included. And this guy here just hopes that it will grow his YouTube channel significantly. And give me a long-term career doing this, streaming primarily Dwarf Fortress and other video games and making YouTube videos. Because I happen to like this game. Granted, even if it doesn't, I'll keep streaming this game. Even if it doesn't, I will keep doing what I've been doing because I kind of like it, oddly enough. Do you play Dwarf Fortress right now, though? Uequi? I don't even. Letters. Do you play the game as is, or are you just primarily looking forward to trying it for the first time? when Premium releases. So this is going to actually turn into a moat in the summer because this down here is all an aquifer. So it's going to be dumping water into here. That's going to be kind of awesome, actually. Turns out, channeling, very frame rate intensive. Not as bad as having 500 units spawn on the side of the map, but it's close. Hey chat, do you guys remember that person who tuned into the stream who said, I don't understand why anybody would buy this crap. The fact that they're trying to sell a game that should always be free is effing R-word. Fucking R-word was the word that they used. And then I was like, hey chat, who's buying this game on day one? And everybody was like, me. It was very funny. And it had to ban that person, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately had to ban that person. But that's kind of how I feel about the premium version of Dwarf Fortress is everybody is excited to buy the game on day one, except for that one guy. Tap Ninja was pretty meh. Okay, chat, hear that? The idle connoisseur says that Tap Ninja is pretty meh. If Swaggin Sorcery was an idler, that one is pretty garbage. You also think that game was garbage? Oh my god, I was the only person on the on Halcyon Frequency that thought that game was garbage. Everybody else 100%ed it and went on about how great it was. I think it's because they all got paid to play it. But I personally think that game was garbage. Weapon Shop Fantasy, you gave up after 3 hours. You liked human-powered spacecraft, but you only have an hour on it, so I guess I got bored of it. That game's like 5 hours long, is it not? Dead Prophet was pretty boring. I guess all of those. The worst one I ever played was this thing that got gifted to me called Sweatshop, and it was literally just you take kind of racist-looking models and make them make T-shirts, and then just more of them, and they make more T-shirts. Just a troll? Possibly. But there's just a troll, and then there's just a troll that are frequent posters that post detailed things on the subreddit, and the forums that are usernames that I recognize. That was a username that I recognized who was a frequent poster. So yeah, probably just a troll, but a troll that is like an active member of the Dwarf Fortress community, unfortunately. And unfortunately, every community has some of those. You spent money? I spent, I think it was $6 on, what was that one? Adventure Capitalist? Just because I wanted to see what it would do. It was like whatever the cheapest thing you could buy was. And I was like, well, that was disappointing. And then I never did it again. And I bought Space. Actually, no. The clicker that I spent the most money on was I bought Space Planet's soundtrack on vinyl. Which was like, I guess, like 30 euros after shipping. In response, game will still be free after Steam release. PAX West 2019, when their community manager was still, when Kit Fox's community manager was still Victoria Tran, who now works for the Among Us devs. She said that the funniest thing that she'd seen since starting to work with Dwarf Fortress, because someone said, what was like, I think it might have been Stephatos asked, I can't remember who asked her this. Someone asked her, what was the strangest thing you saw get posted on the Steam forums? Because we're talking about like the Steam forums being kind of whack for Dwarf Fortress, because they were at the time, and they still kind of are. And she's just like, someone said, it's ridiculous that they're charging money for a free game. I'm going to pirate this when it releases. And the concept of pirating Dwarf Fortress is way too fucking funny to me. Like, imagine going to Pirate Bay and pirating Dwarf Fortress. I just can't. I can't fucking imagine it. Tier 3000 profit. No, totally. You can absolutely do that. But I was on the mobile version, so. As Space Plan is the best idle game I've ever played. Cookie Clicker is the second best. Still can't get over that. I'm not Pirate Dwarf Fortress. You good luck there, kiddo. Have fun. All right. Jeez, let's smooth this. You know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that's coming out isn't a remaster of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You know that, right? They're different games. I know it's confusing, but they're not. It's not actually a Modern Warfare 2 remaster. I mean, his dad should have worn a Trojan. Or I guess their dad should have worn a Trojan, but maybe it'll do them some good. No, it really is. It truly is confusing as hell. Trojan is still the worst name for a condom. Yeah, it really, really is. Although the ads are kind of amusing, so. All right. Constantinople would have been better. Great Wall of China. All right, so they're going to smooth the outside of that. And then this thing's just going to go up. Did like a bird fly over? Why did they all cancel? Bizarre. Probs, the most time spent in an idle game was Egg Inc. I played like 20 minutes of Egg Inc. on a phone, and my battery drained 10%, and then I uninstalled it. I played Egg Inc. a little bit, and realized how quickly my phone's battery was draining, and was just like, you know what? No. And that was about how far I made it. I thought to myself, I'll play this if it comes to PC, and I don't know if it ever did, so... Ooh, a miner's been possessed. I can't wait for a major to be possessed. Oh no. Did a dwarf actually get like... Ooh, I was worried about this. Dwarf got engulfed in ice. Shit. Bemble got engulfed in ice. Idols that allow multiple idols running at the same time get points in your books? Really? I'm starting to think, Hobo, that you should make like a Steam curator or something specifically for idle games. Let's just forbid all of this. Maybe hide it too. But yeah, so all of this area that's got the little water icon there is an aquifer. So when hot weather rolls around, it's going to start filling up. And you've claimed a mason's workshop. Let's see what Zulban does. During that phase, really? Yeah, I don't know. The only game that I've been playing on my phone in like the last 5 years is a very new game, which just released on phones. Into the Breach. Although not new, just new for phones. It's only available through Netflix, which is the weirdest fucking thing in the world. So wood. I also need to chop some trees down because it's been a while. It's either brass or gold. I'm not sure which. A space building constraint? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I like idle games that have a little bit more to them. I think the reason I like Space Plan so much is because one, it's possibly the most satisfying actual clicking of any clicker I've ever played. But the reason I genuinely love Space Plan is the writing's really good. Which is not what you expect from a, you know, a space game, but or a clicker, but the writing is actually very good. Although right now, I think one of my most anticipated games that isn't Dwarf Fortress, I don't know why I'm jumping to this subject, is that game I played last night. Zero Sievert. The thing was cool. Way better than I thought it would be. But I could certainly see how it could get very, very repetitive, so just hope that they get the variety in there. Not Tarkov looked really good. Yeah. The only downside is that you get to a point so that the high in X time bonus that you can't. Rent this with 1 minute? What? Pardon me? What do you want about Diamond? Sometimes you say things that I just have no idea what you're actually intending to mean. All right, working our ways up slowly. Making my way up. Oh, prestiging. Oh, in like reactor? Okay, I understand now. Gotcha. I lost the through line there in that statement, I guess. Do I have conglomerate blocks? Yes, I do. That's a wall, not a floor. Muscle memory. Also, just based off of something that somebody just commented on one of my videos, if you're gonna comment on something that I said in an old VOD, do me a huge favor. Timestamp it so I can figure out what you were talking about. Because often, like, people will comment on something that I said in a VOD from, like, let's just say 3 weeks ago. And it'll be something like, you're wrong. But, like, no indication as to what thing I was saying at the time and no timestamp. Someone kind of just did that, sort of. But it was, like, more of a, like, a call-out question kind of thing where they're just, like, halfway stating, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but also asking a question. And I'm like, well, I'd like to respond to that after stream, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, I have no fucking idea what I was talking about 3 weeks ago. The hell? It's like, excuse me, but what was the context of this? It's like, I ramble about a lot of shit, and I'm also not serious about a lot of shit that I ramble about. And also, I'm totally fine with being told that I'm wrong. But I don't like it when people are just like, I'm curious about what this is. Or what your opinion of this thing is. I'm like, in relation to what? What was I talking about? I don't know. I don't know what I said 8 minutes ago, let alone what I said 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that would actually be a really useful moderation tool, even if it's not shown publicly. Yeah, no, this person just commented, I'd be curious to know what you think actual security is. It's kind of a weirdly condescending comment, but I was looking at that and I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about 3 weeks ago. I disagree. Literally, yeah, it's just like that. I don't agree with that. I've gotten those before. Or it's just like, that opinion is stupid was one that I got once. I was just like, which one? I'm sure I have lots of stupid opinions in this VOD, but like, which one? Just want to know. Please tell me. It'll be really useful to know. Like, seriously. Yeah. Ah, well. Life goes on. Maybe it's for the best. Generally, people think that videos on YouTube are not live. It's the premieres that confuse people. I would never assume somebody thinks that a VOD is live, but premieres do confuse people. People will be like, wait, this isn't live. It's like, of course not. I get that a lot with the Zach and Tarn talks, where someone will be like, wait, this isn't live. It's like, yeah, I never said it was. That's why it's labeled as a premiere, not a... Got an artifact being made. That's why it's labeled as a premiere, not a live stream, guys. Or there was one time where someone like indirectly complimented me, where they were just like, you're really good at talking and popping things up on stream while typing in the chat. You're very good at this. And I was like, thank you. Chat's like, don't tell him. Don't tell him, guys. People are strange sometimes. I mean, I'm strange most of the time, so I certainly hope other people are strange sometimes. That's very funny. Yeah, the premieres can be kind of confusing. But yeah, I've never actually streamed on YouTube. Not once. Although I'll be honest, I've been tempted to stream on this thing before. It's literally just like a live podcast / audio streaming service through an app. I've thought about just like going to a coffee shop and just like posting a link to that and just streaming to that for like 10 minutes once. Because you get a live chat. It's kind of neat. Runs on a browser. Those other things. But no, I'll never stream to YouTube. Just two guys playing music and the channel owner was changing cameras while playing piano? Yeah. I mean, like, I'm talking while changing my camera. That's not very complicated, but. It's called production. With a button? I mean. I could see it. See? Just like my mouse. You can see that now. And Great Wall of China with a ducky on it. I've actually thought about buying foot pedals and like, or like getting out my MIDI keyboard and using it to hotkey shit, but eh. Also just kind of sounds like work. This is just like a high traffic walkway. Look at this. It's kind of cool. Might like it. We're up to late winter. I want to see if this thing actually fills. It'd be kind of cool, actually, to have like this weird, like lava wall fortress across from a tower with a moat. Hopefully we can get that. No, I hate touchscreens. Fuck that. I like buttons. As a visually impaired person, things that don't have tactile feedback are the worst. Zulban, the miner, has created Dodik Zereth Sheshmer Seth, a diorite grate. That's pretty great. He claims it as a family heirloom. Yeah, I could see that. Although the concept of Sea of Thieves being an active game is kind of funny to me. That game is an idle game. You press the play music button and you stand on the poop deck. So it's nice 1,600. Clasp Desert, the sacked luck. What's so sacking about the luck? This is a diorite grate. All craft store ship is pretty great. And it's of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of oval diorite cabochons and sandpear wood. This object is adorned with hanging rings of pink tourmaline and menaces with spikes of gold, pigtail and beak dog leather, and bronze. On the item is an image of Inul Archboot the Dwarf and Senre Cactus Yells, the rock in apple wood. Senre Cactus Yells is striking down Inul Archboot. The artwork relates to the killing of the dwarf Inul Archboot by the rock Senre Cactus Yells in the Heliotrope Point in 112. All right. I will place this grate in the king's tomb. There you go. All right, let's get round 2 up and running. I haven't been attacked in a while, but when we get attacked, we seem to get attacked a lot, so we're just going to keep her chill for a little bit. Oh, you know what's a small change that I can't wait for with Premium? Probably the thing that I'm the most excited for about Premium. You can build on floors. You don't have to deconstruct the floor first. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be able to construct things on floors. Literally my most anticipated change about Dwarf Fortress Premium. I should make a really clickbaity video called My Most Anticipated Change. Like, My Most Anticipated Dwarf Fortress Editions for Premium or some shit. And just end it with, you can build on floors. Game of the year? Oh, it'll be game of the year without that, but abso-fucking-lutely. Good lord. That's like maybe the clunkiest, most annoying thing about Dwarf Fortress right now is that you can't construct anything on floors. You can't build walls on floors. You can't build stairs on floors. You can't build anything on. You have to deconstruct the floor and leave a hole in the ground and then construct the floor in its place. And then construct the stairs in its place. It's the worst. Absolute fucking worst. And I can't wait to just be able to fucking slap a floor down and put something on top of it. I'm so excited. It's gonna be a game changer. Scrolling menu? Nah. Overhauled UI? Nah. Graphics? Nah. Music? Blah. Can build on force? Craigasm. There we go. I mean, what do we want? Building floors. Where do we want them? Dwarves. I don't know where I'm going with this. Problem with this is I really need to move all of these blocks out there. It's gonna take them way too long to just run back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The one problem with this tower build, it's too far away from everything. So I could actually build the library in here right now. Should just make every single layer of this just library. Just make a huge multi-layer library, all connected to the same zone. Maybe that's what I should do. A goblin poet, Kutzmob Zombatata, is visiting. Goblin poet. If only there was a way to have all of those stones in the same place and have some sort of wheeled device to carry them to one place. I know, right? Weird. Wheelbarrows. Not the stones, though. I mean, I just need to make a stockpile and just move them there. But I'll finish a few floors first. Getting done pretty quickly, and so that's not really the issue. I'm mostly just curious about whether or not this thing's gonna fill up with water. Probably will. I'm mostly just curious to how quickly it will, because this is all light aquifer. Probably will. I'll just fill slowly. I think it's almost done already. Look at all this. But maybe I should make a minecart track going from like here all the way to here. Maybe I will. But the thing is, once it's built, there won't really be much need for it, so it'll be kind of just a waste of space once it's been built. I mean, also, I'm going to scroll back to what Onyx said. It's a better stream deck. I'll show you a better stream deck. It's literally just like a Cherry MX hotkey pad. That's what I use. Except instead of costing like $500, it costs $90. My king wants me to make 3 more maces. Iron mace. Just likes the iron beatsteaks. Beatsteaks? Beatsteaks. In a spiral where you need to have one wheelbarrow for every hauler and thus using up all of the space of your stockpile for wheelbarrows? Oh, are you using DF hack to allow for unlimited wheelbarrows per stockpile? Because in vanilla you can only have 3. So no, that doesn't happen. Also, you could just make wheelbarrow stockpiles. Throw back to the fort where you had the underwater observation room, where you can make an underwater observation room like an aquarium. Ooh, maybe. That was a fun fort. I need to try that again. Oh, another feature I'm looking forward to is this shit actually being relatively useful. Because currently, I'm sorry guys, this minimap, absolutely fucking useless. Like, this minimap is completely fucking useless right now. Do not care. It's completely useless. None of it means anything. I mean, this is why I recommend that everybody play vanilla sometimes, so that you know what the game actually does. The Friendly Floors, a performance troupe, is visiting. All right, Friendly Floors. Wonder if they have any associations with the restaurant chain Friendlies. And see, everybody insists that DF hack makes everything better. I'm more convinced that it makes most things worse, and a few specific things better. Oh, I'm just reminding a lovely member of chat here that you can only have three stockpiles per, or 3 wheelbarrows per stockpile in vanilla. Whereas DF hack lets you have infinite wheelbarrows per stockpile. Also, apparently Jupiter Hell was today had their highest concurrent player count since they hit 1.0, which is kind of awesome, actually. That's cool as hell. Good for them. Stuff dumped out of the way. Moving into the tavern. I think these dwarves deserve a break. Two features that you want in premium is seeing unfulfilled petitions and sought after items from the mountain home caravans. Yeah. And also just being able to move through notifications at your own pace instead of having to do them the second they pop up. and trade agreements are pointless? Yeah, I mean, you can see who the king is by going to here. Or here, technically. But trade agreements you can sort of see. I mean, you can see whether or not you're at peace, and if you're at peace, they might trade with you if you're in range with them. If you're at war, they won't trade, and if you have tributes demanded, it'll say T. You can have an economy based entirely on spamming stone mugs and caring about what you're paying for or what caravan is looking for. It's a moot point, IMO? You're an idiot if you believe that that's the case. You know that the cost of and value of things drop over time, right? So if you're just spamming mugs, the value of what you're selling will drop over time. There's a reason why clothing is worth almost nothing in long death. And also, Maz, you're talking about just the value of items and not item requests and what they want to trade for. Like, you're completely mistaken. You should try playing the game in vanilla for a bit and not, like, and try not, like, just gimmicking the game for a bit and see what you end up with. We'll see when we see you, Onyx. Here's dude. I think I know where that menu is. I think I may have landed there once or twice before. Where is it? Got this one. You mean that? You've been trying? Clearly not, because you haven't seemed to have made any attempt. But yeah, no, I think it's less of a this is what you're going to see and more of a those menus are going to be surfaced better. It's like all of the menus that are going to be in premium are already in the game somewhere. It's just a question of whether or not you know where they are. Like an example, I didn't know that, well, not this one. I didn't know that the treatment menu existed until recently. Just like most people don't know that there's a moon here. But no, trade agreements absolutely do mean things because it says who you're trading with. It doesn't matter what you're selling them or the item that you're selling them. Knowing who you're trading with is important because it's not very specific about what faction shows up. The faction shows up and it says the Dwarven name. If you don't happen to, or their human name or the name in their language, you don't necessarily know what faction that is. So knowing who you're trading with on this screen is important. So no, trade agreements are not a moot point. But then again, you're also the kind of person probably who just invades everybody and trades with nobody and, like, min-maxes the game up to a point where there's no game anymore. So, I don't know. Just, like, do me a huge favor and don't downplay every single mechanic people get excited about, yeah? Because, like, there's completely pointless mechanics in Dwarf Fortress that I get excited about that are underdeveloped, implemented poorly, and do literally nothing. But I like them because they add flavor. And because Dwarf Fortress is a sandbox about mostly role-playing with yourself, it doesn't fucking matter if it has any actual mechanical impact. It really doesn't. What matters is, yeah, like Gnome Blight. What matters is it fun to have that interaction with the game? If the answer is yes, then it's a good mechanic that needs to exist. Like, largely, taking care of bees is completely fucking pointless. It does nothing it's almost, it's super fucking finicky. It's ridiculously obtuse. It makes no logical sense the way it functions. Making mead is a laborious, like, complex, annoying task to complete. But it's fun. So who cares if it's any good? And that's the beauty of Dwarf Fortress in a lot of ways. Like, there's mechanics in this game that really have no place being there, that are very poorly developed, but they add flavor, and that flavor is what makes Dwarf Fortress Dwarf Fortress. Without that flavor, it wouldn't be the game. I'm not sure, because I don't use the trade agreements menu. Pele. Ban on certain exports. Export of maces has been prohibited. Well, dwarves are all bringing up tables. Remember, you've been doing prepared food and crafts recently? Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, there's many ways to completely just break the economy in this game. But you can also infinitely spawn metals, and I don't see anybody complaining about that. Also, chat, I've been getting the itch to play some Jupiter Hell tonight. I think that's what we're going to do. Like I said, I'm mostly just waiting for spring because I want to see how much that water spreads. Yeah, you can dupe metals in Dwarfort. Make spiky metal ball, melt down spiky metal ball. Takes 2 bars to make ball, you get 3 bars back. You can also do it with coins. Make 500 coins out of 1 bar, split stack of coins into individual coins, melt 500 coins, get 500 bars. Easy. Simple as that. It's literally that easy. There's many ways to dupe metal in Dwarfort. Yeah, so it's like, if we want to talk about things that don't work properly in Dwarf Fortress, we can talk about things that don't work properly in Dwarf Fortress. But I would argue that it's not the point of Dwarf Fortress that everything works properly. My favorite thing to remind people is that I don't play Dwarf Fortress because it's a well-designed game. I play Dwarf Fortress because there's literally nothing else like it. That's why I play Dwarf Fortress, is because it is the best game that is like Dwarf Fortress. There are other games that are like Dwarf Fortress. They all suck. But there's other games that are like Dwarf Fortress. I mean, like, yeah, I guess I could just play Going Medieval all day, but it's a pretty sandbox, but that's about it. Nothing else in there. That coin dupe would escalate very quickly. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a little bit more complicated than that, because splitting the stack is a bit annoying, but there are multiple ways of splitting stacks. Dear brand company, please stop sending me requests to stream Raid Shadow Legends. For fuck's sake. I know it's a meme, but like, Christ. I really should just like add an email filter for Raid Shadow Legends. What? Take coin, melt coin. Maybe, you know, it is illegal to melt down legal tender. What if What if it actually works that way, and that's why it's illegal to melt down legal tender, and that's what they're not telling you, pilot? This is a conspiracy theory I can get behind. Let's all melt down our pennies. Even though pennies haven't been legal tender in Canada since, you know, a very long time. Maybe I can melt down this Canadian bullshit. Nah, no one says rest in peace pennies in Canada. The only thing we say about pennies in Canada is God fucking riddance. Sucks to be you, wouldn't want to be you. Hey, Chups. Every game with the word Legends or Origins should be filtered out. Yeah. Or, Quest, to a degree. Quest of Legends! That's kind of how it works in real life. The copper penny is worth 1.2 cents USD. There you go, see? See? You can dupe pennies with pennies. Really dumb sentence to say out loud, but you know, here we are. Spring has arrived. Look at that. Fuck, they sent me another one. Stop it. Here, I'll out them. Stream Elements. Stop it. Jesus, fuck. Quest of Legend, the dungeon origins of free to play. Conquer me now, my lord. Blah. Hole up? Wait, which part? What am I holding up for? I'm more of a hold down person. Hi, audio. How is yous? What's up, Epion? You're up late. Are you just watching numbers go up? I'm waiting to see if water's gonna melt. That's literally what I'm doing. All right, yeah, how much are you gonna melt? And also, there's a body in there somewhere. You got a plane to catch tomorrow? Gamescom? I'm trying to think, where else would you be going via plane? Gamescom's the only thing that would make sense, because that's this weekend, is it not? Local game dev event? Oh, but all the trains are full. Ew. Okay, I mean, quicker travel. Is Gamescom this weekend? Shit. By the way, Epion, I was going to ask you, so when is Chaos Forge getting bought by the Embracer Group? Like, everything got bought by the Embracer Group this past weekend. It's ridiculous. These fuckers are just buying everything. They have absolutely unlimited money. It's weird. I'm waiting for them to buy me. Like, not even my stream. They bought Tripwire. They bought Tuxedo Labs, the people who made, what's it called? Teardown. Hyperstrange will be bought by. Yeah, actually, that's more likely. They bought Limited Run Games. They bought a karaoke machine manufacturer and something else. But Tripwire is like the big one. So Killing Floor and Tuxedo Labs, I guess. But this is taking too long to melt. And Epion's been tempting me for the last hour. We're gonna go play some Jupiter Hell. Fast evening plans. Why don't you like sell Chaos Forge and make a new studio and call it Insanity Forge. I don't know. Or Chaotic Forge. There you go. But today was a fun day of dwarves. We made lots of progress. We killed lots of goblins. Raid Legends. Maybe call it run-based games? No, because they make roguelike games.
Heal, damn it.
Yeah, that's what you should call it. Heal, damn it. Not a roguelike company? You know, I'm surprised that that doesn't exist. That should be your fake website. Right? You just link to people whenever they ask when you're going to put